The Shaper Origin, right? It's what all the cool kids have. In theory, it seems like a brilliant idea. I am having a lot of issues with it. Today, I'm making a review discussing some of the common problems that I've had. To be 100% honest, I had no intentions of making a review of the Shaper Origin. I've been working on filming and building this outfeed table for my table saw for the past 2 to 3 weeks, and up until today, it had really been coming along quite nicely. Routering out these channels was the last thing that I needed to do before I was ready to shove it up behind my table saw and show it off and put it to work. I've got so much time into this thing, including dovetails that hold it all together, these cool soft close drawers that are trimmed out in walnut. I thought making some simple grooves for some T-tracks on the top was going to be the easy part. On this simple project, routering these channels, I've experienced a variety of issues, and these are the same issues I've experienced with every project I've attempted to use the Shaper Origin on. All right, so I essentially have, it's a little less than 4x8, and I have a track here, one going down the middle, one going down the middle here, one on that edge, and then one on the far edge, okay? And these are just straight tracks, about 1/4 inch deep and a little over 3/4 of an inch wide. And this whole design on how this works, in my opinion, is flawed. Why is it flawed, you asked? Because it relies completely on the Shaper tape. It looks like a bunch of dominoes. These are barcodes that it reads so that it knows where it's at on your workstation. This tape is complete junk, and I think because it's junk, it's just ruining the whole machine, at least for me. Now this tape is brand new. It's not like it's old or crappy, but it's a pain to get on and off. As you're putting it on, it separates. I'll give examples of that. And then look at this little square here. This is how my whole station is. This is laminate, which should be easy to move across with the router. The tape should stick well to it. Look at this. As I'm coming across here with that, it's tearing away this tape. So anything that needs multiple passes, which this needed because I offset a little bit to do like a cleanup cut, if you will. So on that second pass, it's trying to read this tape that's all chewed up because A, you've either cut through it, or B, the station, the router station that it sits on is ruining the tape as you go across it. The Shaper tape cost me about $15 per roll, and it's very difficult to work with. It pulls apart in the center, almost like double ply toilet paper. So you lose that sticky backer to it, and you have to stop your run, tear off a chunk, throw it away, and then start a whole new run. And you'll see on my table where I have a few of those splices where this occurred. So I designed all these grooves for this T-track to sit in pretty flush. And the first pass that I made on this whole table was right here, and it did fairly well. I'm okay with this. It's a little bit wider for whatever reason in the middle, and then towards the edge, it's perfect. And you'll see a spot here where the Shaper just decided to jump over and cut wider. This is the best cut on the table, and it's still flawed.
Maybe it's not a good idea to make a review right now because I am furious. This is the last thing that I had to do on this project, and look how sloppy this got. It's way wider than it was supposed to be. And when you look way down on the end, there's like a little lip here where it just decided to jut out further. Look how nice and snug it is on the far side. That's how I wanted it. A little bit of play is okay here. But here, this is just unacceptable. The router is not reading the tape well, and it starts jumping around and doing its own thing. At the beginning and end, it's perfect. Look how snug this is at the beginning. This proves that I had the right measurement in the machine. It wasn't like I input the wrong size.
Here, I just wanted to demonstrate, whenever this is red, it means it's insufficient amount of tape in front of the origin, okay? So, like as you move it around, if it's black, it's good. If it's red, it's bad. When it's reading red, it'll create a bunch of chatter, or it'll just stop the spindle from spinning and lift it up altogether. This tape is all tore up just from moving the router across it, and it can't read it anymore. Now, if you're in the middle of this cut and it can't read the tape anymore, the router itself starts shaking all over the place. So what do you think it's doing while it's shaking? It's not leaving a nice clean edge. It's leaving all these rough patches. The next scenario that I'm having tons of issues with, and I understand why, but it's still so frustrating. So let's say I'm making this cut here. I get to about right here, right? And it can't read anymore. It's reading up here. So it can't read this at all. So you need to stop, spin this all the way around and like go backwards into that cut to get to the edge. Another issue is how wasteful this is, because you can't just fit stuff. Like, I thought having decent sized chunks of MDF or plywood laying around would be perfect. I could just slap a template on here and go. No, I can't actually do anything here because of that same issue with it reading over the edge. So you need to have a piece quite a bit larger than what you're cutting out, or you're not going to get good readings. Now I have to remove all this tape. It's going to leave residue and it's going to be a pain again. So it's just non-stop issues for me. And I must be a big dumb idiot because I can't get this figured out. I have not had one success story with the shaper yet. So really, really frustrated. So that's my 2 cents on a machine that costs a lot more than 2 cents. I'm so disappointed and frustrated right now. Not only because I paid a ton of money for this, but I ruined a really important project. I'm gonna leave it at that. I'd love to hear your comments below. If you have one of these and there's something very obvious that I'm doing wrong here, please let me know. If you don't have one and you are looking for a machine and you have questions about it, please ask me because I will give you my honest opinion about it. Hey guys, as always, cooler heads prevail. It's been a couple days since I destroyed the top on my outfeed table, and since then I've come up with a new plan on how to fix it. But I wanted to say that the Shaper Origin is a great tool and it's a huge advancement in technology. You can do some amazing creative things on it, and a lot of the trouble that I'm having, I do believe, is user error, and I don't want it to seem like I'm just trashing the tool because the tool is junk. More so, I'm hoping for some advice, if you will. But at the very least, if somebody watches this video, they could maybe learn from what I'm screwing up and not have to deal with ruining any of their furniture that they're building. And I'll leave you guys with that. If you have any questions, as always, leave them in the comments below. We'll see you on the next build.